Well, hello, hello. Happy Thursday night. We are so pleased to see everyone here. I'm Tia Nat, and with me is my good friend.
Dr. Michael Gross, how are you, everybody? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for sharing a little bit of your Thursday night with us. Michael has a powerful message, and I'll get to that in a real quick minute. Okay. I wanted to go ahead, though, and introduce Michael a little bit. He's the gentleman who woke up my soul the first day I met him. And I truly, truly, truly am blessed and amazed and honored to be doing these Thursday night lives with him today and every Thursday night. So, on that note, Michael is a professional keynote speaker, energy transformational coach, entrepreneur, and the author of The Spiritual Primer, applying God's 12 transformational laws to reawaken your soul by reconnecting to God, the true source, to experience your true source's love, joy, and happiness. He helps you achieve your unlimited life. He's been working in this field for over 30 years as a spiritual teacher, a multidimensional healer, a transformational coach who is exceptionally skilled in all aspects of soul, oversoul, vibrations, frequencies, body timing, life force energies, and much, much more. Michael Gross holds many different degrees, which he'll share with us another time. But let me tell you, the guy has incredible knowledge and experience in so many facets of life. You would be really, truly honored and incredibly impressed if you take him up on his complimentary consultation that he always offers at the end of the meeting, right?
Right.
But, but here we go. Okay, Michael offers many workshops, and Michael, make sure that somewhere in here we also talk about the workshop that you've got coming up. Okay, but your workshops include reconnecting to God, the true source, cellular release, manifestation protocols, enlightenment, and many others. He's an intuitive consultant on an international scale as well. He's got clients over in US, well, obviously in the USA, but Australia, New Zealand, South America, Asia, and other countries overseas, as well as the Baltic countries, Sweden, and South Korea. I'm truly blessed and honored to have him here with me today. And I cannot wait to hear his message today because his amazing topic is one word: hate. So take it away, Michael. I will put all his contact information in the comments, okay? So you can all connect with him later, all right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I chose this subject. Actually, I didn't choose it, but as you know, I'm channeling the information, channeling it from the true source. And that's why sometimes I may mix up words or hesitate or whatever because I'm receiving the information. Right now, I'd like to talk to you all about hate. What's happening in the world, we're becoming very divided. Not only in the country, the US, but all over the world. We're becoming more and more divided. And we're becoming more and more divided. And I sat down one day and talking to the true source, and I said, what is going on? One of the things I'd like to point out to all of you is that there's so much hate on this planet, so much adversity against one another. And I'm saying what I heard was, what are we teaching our young children? What are we teaching about compassion, loving, and understanding? You know, it's all right to say, I dislike something or I dislike him or her. You'll go out to dinner and you'll say, well, I dislike the steak, but I like the hamburger better, which is normal. I dislike XYZ and so on. But when you add such passion into it, that I hate this person, that's really wrong because what is really happening? And the reason I say it's wrong is we have in the United States freedom of speech, and you have the right to dislike or disagree with anybody. But it is also showing respect. And it's so important that we show respect. And in talking to so many people, if we have diverse opinions, and I talk to them and try to present a little bit of logic, just a tiny bit, I can see the hate. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to listen to it. And I cut the whole discussion short and change the subject whatsoever. But what is happening is we are being manipulated, and we are being manipulated by the press and others. Now, I'm not going to go into who they are or whatever they are. And of course, my political alliance is that I ask every election, who should I vote for? I ask the true source, what's the best person? So consequently, over the years here in America, I voted for one party or the other party. But I've never seen such hate, not only here, but in Europe and Asia and all over the world. So let's talk about what hate is. Where does hate come from? Well, if you disagree with something or a situation or whatever, and you are looking for cooperation, for reinforcements for people to agree with you, it's really unimportant. And I'll tell you why. Well, this hamburger I had at XYZ is terrible. I want people to know that. And other people agree. And there's always somebody that'll go, yeah, well, you know what? I don't hate it. I think the food's gosh darn good. And then you get mad at the person for disagreeing with you. And that's so important. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. And when I was growing up, we would talk about political parties and we get into a big debate, a little heated, but not screaming and yelling. Then after we're all over, I said, let's go out and have a beer and we're friends. What's happening is that people do not want to associate with others. A few years ago, a very close friends of mine said they were afraid that we're going to lose our friendship because we disagreed on certain things. I said, we can agree to disagree. What's it got to do with our friendship? I still love you as a man, as a person, and your family and your wife. It's got nothing to do with, you know, you as a person or personally. You have your belief system, I have mine. Respect mine and respect yours. So let's go out and grab a bite to eat, which we did. And that's so important. But what does hate really do? Well, of course, hate produces endorphins and your hormones and your heart beats and your blood pressure goes up. And then it begins to take hold of your body. And when it takes hold of your body, it'll come down with some kind of serious ailments or whatever, or sickness or cancer or anything like that. So who are you really harming? You're not harming the other person. You're harming you. And that's so important for you to understand. And I'll tell you a little story. So I had a client back in Boston, and she had four tumors in her stomach that are cancerous. And she always complained about her dad. And she was internalizing things and chewing on it, figuratively speaking. She said, go to Michigan, forgive your dad. She went to Michigan. She forgave her dad somewhat. Three disappeared when she came back home, just disappeared. There was one left. He said, go back and finish the job. You still feel animosity. No, I'm not going to go back. So she had an operation. Now, isn't that foolish? You know, it's called, winning the argument and losing your life or your health or whatever. What's really important? Whether you believe in this political party, you like this food, that person, that person. And look what's going on. Everybody's talking about everybody else. Isn't there anything else that's more important? And why are they focusing on negative and looking for the negative things in the people around you? All of us have positive traits. And I'm not going to use the word negative, but challenging. That's the key words, traits. And it's based upon our youth. That's what it goes back to. So whatever your prejudices are, you learn from your family, relatives. Whatever you dislike, you learn from your family and prejudice this. And it could be as simple as, people used to talk about Ford, Ford, found on road dead. That's what they would talk about. Don't ever buy a Ford, right? GM, General Motors, garbage motors. So there would be all these cliches. Well, guess what? I bought my first Ford truck because I used to feel that way, but I decided to buy one. One of the best trucks I ever had. I had a Chrysler product, one of the best trucks I ever had. And then they used to call the little Hondas in the early days rice burners. They owned a Honda, put over 100,000 miles on it, and still sold it to a friend of mine. And he says, best car he ever had. So you see, we have these innate prejudices that we get from our family, friends, and relatives. And by the age of 8 or 7.5 or 8, we pre-programmed to think a special way. And then we spend the rest of our life changing that and understanding. So really, when a person starts trying to push your button, you have to backtrack. You have to reverse, say, why am I reacting to this? And how important is it? That's so important for us to look at it. Why am I reacting? Why am I feeling this emotion? Why is my blood pressure up? Why am I angry? Why am I upset? And it boils down to this: self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem. That's what it boils down to. You would not react to anything if you felt good about yourself. Feeling good about yourself gives you a clear picture and saying, well, this person's no good, or that person's no good, or that restaurant, this political party. You're taking a look and saying, well, each one is trying to do their best. Maybe we're being lied to or taken advantage of. but I'm not going to hate them. I dislike what they're doing. So what am I going to do? I'm going to change my thinking. If it's politically, vote a certain way. If it's a restaurant you don't like, go to a certain way, or sit down with that person and say, look, you don't like me. We disagree. We have an argument. Let's find a middle ground. We don't have to be best friends. We can just walk away and be neutral and feel good about each other. And when you talk to a person that way, 50% will work with you and 50% will run and hide. Why are they going to run and hide? Because they're too embarrassed to admit what the truth is. So the first thing in this whole process is to forgive that person that pushed your button. That's the first process. The second process is ask them to forgive you because you put yourself in that position to be attacked. And the last one is forgive yourself for even being part of it. Now, why would you do that? Some people would rather go down with a ship than admit they're wrong. And the point is that when you birth out of your body, you're going to have a life review. In the life review, you're going to understand those actions that were harmful to others. And you're going to feel their pain. Then it's over with. No punishment. But just think about that. Gee, I created the pain in XYZ. Why, I'm so sorry. And they'll turn around and say, yeah, I'm sorry I created the pain in you. Oh, I'm so sorry. But if you carry this with you, you're going to come back and have to learn the lesson that you created now be created on you. So you understand, oh my gosh, now I understand how they felt. Ain't going to do that one again, or something like that. To you wanted to say something.
I do wanted to ask you really quick. You said that we should forgive the person as well as ask for their forgiveness, but we also need to forgive ourselves. So why is it always so hard for us to forgive ourselves?
Well, let me do a little bit more on that, or explain a little bit more. You can directly meet with a person and say that, and they may be cantankerous or angry or upset. So the other option is that you ask permission to talk to their soul, and you go, first of all, I forgive you, and ask their soul to forgive you, and then forgive yourself. So it's three-step process. The soul will always, always, always forgive you. Why? Because the soul is made out of love. It's just love. Doesn't understand anger or hate, just like the true source. Doesn't punish us. Doesn't understand hate or anger or any of those things. All it understands is unconditional love. So as I said before, so Michael's screwing up. Michael's feeling this pain. Michael's doing that. Wow, he's learning a new lesson. I love him for doing that. And that's an exaggeration, but that's really the way it works with a true source. So to answer your question directly is it's all about your ego. That's all it is. You don't want to be proven wrong because then it hurts your ego. And then you think you don't have any worth because you have no self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem. Because if you had self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem, and somebody's dumping on you, you would have the compassion to understand, yeah, they're coming out of a state of fear, they're frightened, they're insecure, and they need to vent to heal. Because you know in yourself that you didn't do anything wrong. If you did, and you go through the process of forgiving them, ask them to forgive you, and then forgive yourself, it's gone, it's over with. But there are some souls that want to punish themselves. Well, I did this, but I don't feel any different. Well, why are you punishing yourself? Well, it didn't work. No, it did work. You didn't want to let go of it because you are afraid of admitting that you made a mistake. So own your mistake, enjoy your life, have a round trip ticket, come back and learn it all over again. I love you. Really compassionate for you to learn this. So many times, and I used to be in the nursing home business, and my patients would come down with cancer or an illness. Why is God punishing me? Why is God punishing me? God's not punishing you at all. True source is unconditional love, allowing and non-judgmental. Really, Buddha taught it. Jesus taught it. Krishna taught it, and many others taught it. And you have to be an example of it. And so they may see you as weak. How can anything in love be weak? How can it be weak? The most powerful vibration and frequency and energy on the planet is love. You were created out of love, by love, from love, and with love. Love is the energy that gets into you every minute that helps support your body. You know, when you get sick or angry, you cut off the love energy, kind of hangs out there ready to come in your body. And then you get sicker and sicker, and your body has the reserve energy of love. But after a while, it will deteriorate and fall apart because you have won the argument that caused your demise of your body. So who are you really hurting? You're hurting yourself. And all that's going on in the world, so divided, all the hate, what is it accomplishing? Truly, what, do you want support? I'll give you support. Go out and fish and or sit in the forest and enjoy the birds and feel the wind upon your body and watch Mother Nature and feel the love that's out there. Look how remarkable if you go out into a meadow or the forest, how the trees grow in spite of what we feel and do. And the birds are singing happily. And the chipmunks and squirrels are busy doing their things. And so are the rabbits. Smell the sweet air. So the only one that's suffering is you. And if that's what you so desire to do, bless your heart, bless your soul. You're choosing to learn a very difficult lesson. Over the many, many years I've worked with souls and the healings, I can trace 99.9999% all the illnesses start with some kind of an emotion. So what's the other 0.0.1? Sometimes we choose that at birth to learn about self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem, and it need not last a lifetime. And there are other examples of why these things occur. Sometimes it's just something karmic you came here to learn, and it's over and done with. And we can address that if you're interested in another time. But I'm looking at 99.9999%. So here you are, you're at a precipice. Are you going to be a follower or a leader? All right. Followers are like sheep. They go wherever the people tell them to go. Leaders take a stand and stand up for what they believe is right. And they stand forth for what is right. Here in America, we had the Revolutionary War, and they were called the Tories, who were for King George, patriots who wanted freedom. And there were just a handful, and it spread like wildfire. And it looked like for a while we were going to lose the war, and we finally did. Then we have the Civil War with the North against the South. And that was very painful. It's really based on economics, believe it or not. And what happened after that, the North and South eventually made up. And it's so beautiful. And then we had minorities of different colors that were treated horribly. But that all changed. And they have recognition now. And they're doing very well. In spite of what your political party say, they're doing very well. If they choose to do well, whether you're pink, white, yellow, brown, orange, whatever you are, you have the choice. You have the choice to raise yourself from poverty into joy, happiness, prosperity, and abundance, or to remain in poverty. And all the yes, but, yes, but, yes, buts. In other words, it's just an excuse for you to be in a state of lack of self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem. But if you wanted to change your life and you desire to do that, you may have to work hard, but you can do it. And you can do it very, very well. So all over the world, all this energy is perpetuating itself and it's beginning to grow. And now it's knocking heads with those who are saying, no, stop the hate. Let's have love. If you go to a party, and you've heard me say this before, and you're tired and you're pooped and everybody's happy and jumping up and down, you get that way. Or you go to a party and everybody's angry and depressed, you get that way. You see, we influence one another. And your influence, your energy, and compassion and love is just as powerful as those who are expressing hate and anger and frustration. Just as powerful. So what we're doing now, what we're being asked by the universe, by the true source, by your soul, hey, wake up. Wake up. Change your thinking. Change the way you believe. See the compassion and love. But also turn around and realize that we have to live in an order, civility. In other words, I can't go around and say, you got a nicer car, I'm going to take your car. Or I like you got more food than I have, I'm going to take your food. Can't do that. We have to have harmony and balance. And that's what's so important. And we have to have understanding. And we can't rule with our emotions. We need to rule with our heart. Because if you rule with your emotions by the law of manifestation, you are going to manifest, make more chaos. Do you ever think about that? Like attracts like, chaos attracts chaos, love attracts love. What do you want to do? What decision do you want to make? Where do you want to be? These are the decisions over the next 20 years or less you have got to make a mind up. And you are the instrument of change. You are the instrument that can discern the difference. You are the instrument to bring about love and joy in this life and this planet. That's why so many of us are here. That's why my mission and goal is to help you reconnect with the true source, but also to realize you are the solution, make a difference to turn this planet into love. It's so important that we need to do it, because I will tell you, if you don't, then we will have more chaos. And I've talked about this before, but I want to reiterate it. We have a symbiotic relationship with all the elementals of weather, Mother Earth, everything that exists here has an intelligence. You know why it has intelligence? You look at a rock, it's innate. Well, it doesn't have any intelligence. Yeah, how did it become a rock? How do all the microorganisms, the cellular structure make a rock? How did that happen? How did the water become water? H2O2, two gases making a water. How did those things happen? See, it's with intelligence. Your plant, the earth, the dirt, everything has an intelligence. And you know, a friend of mine went into Jerusalem, went to Israel, and she brought back a little crystal that where had Christ had walked. That's what they claim they got it. And when you hold this tiny little crystal about the size of a quarter, wow, did it have energy. You could feel the love energy. That's the energy you are imparting where you live with your family and your friends. To sum it up, you have a choice. You want to live in hate, or do you want to live in love and joy? Because whatever you attract, whatever you think, you create, whatever you create, you experience. So remember, are you a slave of your fears and hate, or are you master of your life? Because remember, each one of you have a decision to make. You and no one else is in control of your life. You have to make that decision. So I'm asking all of you to spend a moment and think about, what can I do to change the planet, change me to bring about love and joy? And then you go to the 100th monkey system where it expands. And on that subject, the second Saturday of every month, we have what we call the mass consciousness healing. It's so very, very powerful. And it goes 9:55 a.m. Pacific time to 11:01 Pacific time. That's 66 minutes, right? Sometimes 67. And at that point, when we look at that, think about it. Spend 1 hour, all right, and 7 minutes just to make a change. You will feel such loving energy come through you. You'll feel your heart love and joy. And then we become a conduit for the true source of unconditional love to turn this planet into unconditional love, to change the energy, change the vibrations. Because you are so important. Because you're here to make that difference. It's part of what you came here to do. Wake up, be part of that. To you, how can they be part of that? And what can they do?
They can join that mass consciousness healing meditation by dialing in to 202-926-1059 and the access code, Michael?
125446#.
I'll give that one more time. It's 202-926-1059 and the code, Michael?
125446# or hashtag. Everyone, please join us. It's really important that you do. Using the same telephone numbers, the same codes, on every Tuesday evening from 6:30 p.m. Pacific time to 7:30 Pacific time is called Soul Awakening. And what is that about? You ask any question you so desire on spirituality, and hopefully I can answer them. Even if you're well aware of spirituality, you may have forgotten things. I've been at this so long, I've forgotten certain things that I do. And it's kind of like amazing. Yeah, when I'm channeling the information, yeah, I remember that. Or that's good. It's good to remember that. So you don't know it all. I don't know it all. But we are all here together to make that change and shift. And then about 5 or 6 minutes before the hour is over with, I deliver a message, and it's a 10-minute message. First of all, I want to invite all of you to be part of that. And the Soul Awakening is from 6:55 p.m. Again, excuse me, from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. Gio, give them that information again.
Absolutely. That call number is 202-926-1059. And the access code, Michael?
125-446-pound. Love to have fun with that. Also, there's another telephone number. And the other telephone number I want to share with you is what I call the replay. So, what is a replay? Those 10-minute messages, they're approaching 365, somewhere around there. And they're not labeled. And the reason I always tell you not labeled, because I forgot to do it. Sort of said, no, you want to read through 360 labels? No. Nope. So what we want to do? Just say, I don't know what number. I think number 301 sounds good. And then I get a call. Just what I needed to hear. Trust your soul. Trust it. And that's so very, very important for you. Here's that telephone number.
That one is 434-300-4170. And the code, Michael?
125-446-pound. One more time.
Okay. 434-300-4170. And the code?
125-446-pound. I love your animation. That's great. So it starts at number 3. You can listen to it in your car on your phone, or if you're depressed or you're angry or whatever you're doing, just listen to it. There is a frequency and energy and vibration that goes through the phone, through the TV, whatever you're doing, and you will feel the difference. The other item I'd like to talk to you all about is that TU and I do this podcast, and we do it Pacific time, 7 p.m. I'm floating to 7:30 p.m., a little over. Share this with others. Push the subscribe button. Just know that it's really important. The reason is algorithms, all that stuff. The more you get out there, the more the message needs to be heard. So please invite your friends, and please be aware that you're helping to make a difference. I offer all of you a complimentary session, about a half an hour sometimes. It lasts a little longer. I'm not going to sell you anything. I'll just say, if you're interested, learning more, give me a shout. That's it. And I believe I owe that, because I want you to know I'm there for you if you ever have a question. To access that information, TU has put some information where you can call me. And I'm old school. You call me. Don't text me. You can text me. I may not get to do it till 2 o'clock in the morning. And I swear, the next person that texts and doesn't call, I'm going to call them at 2:30 in the morning, because they haven't listened. So call me. And then if I can't answer, text me. So I know. See, when I see a call, I saw the call come in. And then I look for the text to see how I can help you. That's really important. So I want to leave you with that thought. Now, there's something else. Yes, to you.
When you text Michael your first name and your calling area, because that way he knows whether you're East Coast, West Coast, or wherever.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
For those who are seeing this in other countries, I'm in WhatsApp, so you can call me WhatsApp. I but I have clients in Dubai now and so on, Brazil and all over the place. So, I see you have a different kind of telephone number, but just tell me you reside. For example, in Dubai, it's 12 hours apart, and Brazil is 5 hours apart. So I'm learning all that. Also, I wanted to share with you, this is 2025, And on April 4th, 5th, and 6th, I'm doing what is called the 12 Manifestation Protocols. And it runs from Friday from 5:30 to 7:30, and that is Pacific time. Saturday from 9:30 to 5:30, Sunday from 9:30 to 4:30. It's very intense. So what is I do differently? And somebody was asking me that. What do I do different than anybody else that teaches manifestation? And I said, well, I'm going to take a look at this. What I do is I work with each one of your souls when we're doing the manifestation protocols. If there are 30 people there, I can work with 30 people. Not going to tell you how I do it. It's a gift that I was born with and given in this lifetime. And we all have gifts, by the way. And I'm able to do that. When I mentor you and you do classes with me, I always am conversing with your soul and working with your energy fields and your multi-dimensional bodies. And you'll begin to see more and more testimonies about things like that happening. That's what I do different than everybody else, because it's very important for us to work with your soul. And you'll be surprised when I'll come up with your soul saying you're not listening, or your soul will say this. Like, how do you know that? Well, your soul's telling me this. So get with the program. I don't say it that way, but I'm just exaggerating here. So that's what sets me apart. It's a gift. I'm humble. I really am humble and blessed to have that. All of you, remember that you are the solution and you can make a difference if you desire. So I would like to talk to you about the next thing. And this is a beautiful book written by a beautiful soul known as Tia Knapp, award-winning photographer. And what I wanted to share with you is that some weird guy wrote the foreword in her book. And this is about a woman going from the gutter into the light. It's a beautiful, inspiring story. It's a story about love and joy and healing. It's a must read. I would encourage all of you to do that.
Thank you, Michael, for your kind words. I highly recommend that you start with this book because this is written by Dr. Michael Gross, as you can see, and he's the gentleman who wrote the foreword in my book that he's holding. And
oh, wow.
he sees that man in the mirror all the time. But here's the thing. If it wasn't for this incredible gentleman sitting virtually next to me and this amazing book, that book that he's holding wouldn't even be in existence. He's the one that helped me through the healing journey of writing that book and how things have grown and changed. And I like to say it's my journey from the soul of the gutter to life in amazing grace. And I thank you humbly for every piece of morsel of wisdom, love, and lessons that you've shared with me. You are truly a blessing in my life, Michael. And Michael does, like I said before, he offers a complimentary consultation. Definitely take him up on that. And if you want to learn more about his Manifestation Protocols workshop, go to his website and look on the header for the workshops. It could be in a drop-down menu, depends on what you're accessing it through. But all the information is in there for exactly what he's going to be covering on the workshop. And definitely connect with Michael. There will be a link to, coming down the pipeline for now to reach out to him through Dr. Michael Gross, number 7 at gmail.com. And I'm going to keep on promoting you, Michael, the rest of my life because you gave me my life.
Thank you.
Thank you for saving my life.
Touch my heart. Thank you, everyone. I would like all of you to know that you can go to Dr. Michael B. Gross YouTube, see the replays of all the podcasts, and also there'll be some motivational messages on the award-winning photography from Tia Knapp. So please do that. Take advantage of it because it's all about you. And remember, you can make a difference. You are making a difference. You're the solution. Are you going down the tubes or are you rising up like the phoenix? The mythological rebirth. It's up to you. So thank you, everyone. We wish you a great week. We wish you joy and happiness. We wish you health and prosperity and abundance. And most of all, we wish you joy in your life. Take care. Remember, you are unlimited. Namaste, everyone. Take care.
We love you.